Cigar Club Family. Welcome to another episode here on the Cigar Club podcast. I am your host, Dave Ember, and joining me today is the one, the only, the Palate Prince. The college football is back Prince.
Yes.
The Salt Life Prince, David Pugh.
What's going on, Dave? Right off the bat, college football being back. I don't know if everyone listening watches college football, but down here in the South, that is what we wake up Saturdays for. And to me, college football means fall's coming. Fall is here. Super excited. Perfect cigar weather. Perfect cigar event. It's good to be back.
Perfect cigar weather. And there is no sound like fall. No, sorry. There is no sound like Kirk Herbstreit's voice waking you up at 10 a.m. on a Saturday, followed by the feeling of fall and college football.
Yep.
Dude, we were talking about this earlier today, but I was in a trance all weekend just watching football, and my Gators played and won. My Jags from South Alabama played and won, and then I just watched every other football game equally as happy. Just like, I'm like, I want a good game. The stadiums are full. People are going berserk. It's loud.
It was
it's
crazy.
Energetic. Oh, it's football
Making
season,
up
baby.
for last year. I mean, all I did Saturday was just sit on the couch and watch college football. I mean, it was banger after banger, great game after great game, from 11 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. Great weekend.
And I still think that one of the best moments that will happen this year was FSU Notre Dame. I dislike both of those teams greatly and equally. But when Mackenzie Milton, former UCF quarterback who destroyed his knee, was told he'd never walk or play football again, trots out on the field in like the third quarter because the helmet of the starter came off. He had to come in for a snap, throws like a 30-yard dart and stays in the game and leads him to a comeback in overtime. I'm like,
what a storyline.
This is why this is the best sport in the world. His
Absolutely.
like surgeons were in the stands. His parents were in the stands. It was super cool. Gave me chills. And anyway, and it is cigar season too, is what we should also disclaim. And
Yes.
that's why today we're going to be talking about mine and Pew's 5 must-have, must-smoke cigars. Just the ones that should always be in your rotation. And if some of them aren't, get them in there.
Absolutely.
But before we get to that exciting list of cigars, it's a big day here, Pew. It's a big day on the cast.
Big day. Big announcement.
Massive announcement. Announcement 4.0. We've got our first official sponsor here on the Cigar Club podcast. Can
We
you
do.
believe
Tell
that?
them about it.
So, this has been a long time coming. We're big fans of the product. And if you don't have one, get one. But we're here to tell you today that support for the Cigar Club podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. Who's the best in men's below-the-waist grooming? Champions of the world. Manscaped offers precise, engineered tools for your family jewels, baby. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. I've had the 2.0. I've used 3.0, and now I own the 4.0. I'm pumped on all the .0s, but this one is by far the best. The headlight, it's amazing.
Game changer.
So anyway, you guys can join literally 2 million other men across the world that use Manscaped trimmer. We got you all a badass code, 20% off of a Manscaped 4.0. If you use code CigarClub at checkout, just go to manscaped.com, buy whatever you want. You get free shipping. Add Cigar Club to checkout at your promo. You'll save an extra 20% off. It's like $24 or $30 in savings, plus the free shipping. And, keep the jewels clean.
Got to. Yeah. Upgrading from the 2.0 to the 4.0, game-changing.
There it is.
Wireless charging, but the light is my favorite. No more snipping in the dark. No one likes cutting their grass at night.
No one likes cutting their grass at night.
You wake up the next morning, and it's all uneven. The light, clean cut every time.
Your balls will thank you. There it is. Go buy it, people. Listen, we got to move some of these so we can keep them as a sponsor. So I honestly don't even care if you own one. You're buying another one. And you're
Upgrade
using
to the
code
4.0.
CigarClub.
Totally
That's all I
worth
really
it.
care about. All right. Now that we have sold ourselves to the devil and we're officially a sponsored podcast, Pew, we've made it.
And now people, directly can support the podcast too. So using that promo code certainly goes to helping us out, and we really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So anyway, you'll be hearing a lot more about Manscaped from us. We're big fans of it. Them as a brand, their product, everything's great. But now, the moment everybody's been waiting for, 5 cigars you should be smoking.
Boom.
By Dave and Dave. Pugh, why don't you start us off? We each pick 5. I'm looking at the list. We each pick 5 different ones, which I absolutely love even more, which means there's 10 cigars you guys are going to potentially have to go hunt down and buy.
Well, I gladly kick us off with what I'm smoking here first.
Oh, yes, yes.
So that way, no mystery. If you've been paying attention, you'll see that I'm going to ash it.
I didn't
so
see what you were smoking, so this is fun.
We've got the Tiano Hamaka by Serino Cigars.
Hamacha?
Some of you may have even received this in your box last month, but I call this my desert island cigar. And it used to be the Wayfarer, and I think the Taino heritage has overtaken.
Really?
Yeah, it's got everything I like in a cigar that I want to. It's got complexity, it's got balance. I can sit down and think about this cigar and pull out really nuanced flavors, or I can light it up and enjoy the cigar for the moment and not have to think about it and still have really discernible flavors that transition throughout the entirety of the cigar. So it kind of covers your casual and your formal dining of a cigar.
Well, and it's also something to note is there's multiple Tainos. There's the original Taino line, and now this is the heritage line, which is made in the DR.
Thank you.
At Tabacalera La Palma by Xhaxhi Blanco. We were the first ones to ship it out when they released this line. And then last month we shipped out the Robusto size, which I thought I was going to be all in on the 6x47 Corona Gorda-esque size. Then I smoked the Robusto, and I think I like it more.
This will be the first time I'm smoking the Robusto, so I'm curious to see how it holds up to the 6x46.
So that's what Pugh is smoking, and it's also on your list.
Yep, I purposely grabbed this one because it was
how
perfect.
Intentional
it was fitting.
Of you.
You know, we try to have some, look like we know what we're doing.
That was a smooth way to do the transition there. Almost as smooth as below the belt when you use Manscaped.
Bravo.
We'll see how many Manscapes we can drop into this episode. Okay, so a great way to kick this off then for my list is to stay in the Serino vein, because I've smoked and you will soon be smoking. I'm going to set this up big because...
Rub it in. Just make me jealous already.
I'm going to go out and just claim this will be my number one cigar 2021.
Damn.
And there is really nothing I don't think that can beat it. If there is, then it's... I don't even know what that cigar is.
What that would look like?
This is the perfect cigar for me. It is the brand new Serino Elenor Rose.
Look at that.
By their new line, Serino or Studio Serino. What Carson's doing with Studio Serino is, with access to more limited tobaccos and where he can't do full national releases, he's doing studio releases. These come in bundles of 10. Look at this beautiful package that it ships in. I saved it even though I ripped it open.
Ooh.
This is a size called the Eagle, which is coming into Cigar Club boxes this next month in October. We're going to be the first major retailer to ship this cigar. The band is one of the most stunning pieces of artwork I've seen in cigars. And the size the Eagle is kind of like a Perfecto. It's an original Cuban mold that Omar Gonzalez, the master blender and owner of La Corona Factory, where Serino makes their cigars, it's a mold that he had that Carson really wanted to use. And the story of these tobaccos and this blend, it's really cool. It's it has to do with a lot of age and cigars and tobacco that have been at La Corona since Carson had been going there and wanting to use, and nicknames that they'd give this tobacco and how it turned into Elenor Rose. But you'll hear a lot more about that as we start to release this into packs, as Carson comes out, does his press releases. I don't want to go all in on it yet. I just want you guys to know when this comes out, this needs to be in your humidor. It's what every Cuban cigar wants to be.
Wow.
It is straight medium, caramel, toffee, a little bit of cinnamon, cream, oak, this beautiful floral foot smoke, and I could smoke it morning, noon, night, every single day of the week. I'm all in on Elenor Rose. I'm out.
Sold me. Incredible looking cigar. it just looks like that was something from the 1920s that, someone just found in their grandfather's humidor. The packaging, the band design, and then that mold, the vitola of that cigar is something I've never seen before. And come on, the Eagle?
I know, dude.
Come on.
He also has one that's a 48.
Awesome
He's got one that's a 48, and I think there's 3 total sizes. But the Eagle is just so badass. I'm like,
that's awesome.
Looking
forward to that one.
Cigar Club wants the size. But yeah, we've talked about on the podcast, me and Carson are coming out with a cigar that's probably going to land in December. And as I was smoking Elenor Rose, I'm like, dude, is this better than our cigar? I'm like, did you hold out on me? But we will see. Bygone's amazing, but anyway, I'm going to stop talking. I love that cigar. If you can find it, get it. Wait till October. We'll have some. We'll be able to retail some as well. I think we'll be able to get them on their website, serenocigars.com. But big fan.
So that might be competition for the Tiano Heritage for me then. I mean, that sounds incredible.
I told him this went above Wayfarer for me, which has been my longtime favorite Serino cigar.
Well, looking forward to more information as Carson comes out with his press releases to announce that. Yep. I imagine that'll be all across the cigar world, and looking forward to hear more details on that one.
Totally.
Well, I'm going to roll you in right to your next cigar.
Oh.
No stop on this train.
Wait.
We got 10.
Well, you don't want to give one of yours?
No, I want you to go back to back here, Dave.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to keep the spotlight on you. Just give me... There's one on here, and I want you to... I think you know which one.
Okay.
And I want to see if you... Because there was one that almost made my list. So I'm curious to see if you can figure out which one of those they would be.
I mean, it's got to be this if you smoked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This cigar is... This is kind of in my mental space of like competing for top cigar for me this year is the second one on my list, the HVC 500th Tesoros regular production. So it's the Toro size one. It's like 6 1/4 by 52 maybe. Mm-hmm. And it is jalapa in a nutshell. I don't really know the exact specs of how much jalapa, Esteli, Condega tobacco that's used in this, but if this thing isn't 80% or more Aganorsa Jalapo tobacco, I don't know anything, because this is one of the sweetest cigars.
Yep.
The foot, the palate, it's creamy, it's sweet, it's nuanced, it's delicate. A lot of it is through the nose. Obsessed with this cigar.
Absolutely. It was very tough for me to not put that on there. It barely didn't make my top 5. That cigar, I'm a huge fan of Jalapa. I think it's probably my favorite region in Nicaragua for tobacco. That's sweet, just otherworldly for a lack of better description. As soon as you smoke a cigar that has a large amount of Nicaraguan Jalapa in it, you immediately can start picking that out in cigars. That cigar goes morning, noon, and night. Pick your occasion, pick your pairing with it, and it's probably going to go fantastic with that cigar, which for me, just like the Tiano Heritage, has great appeal because it's one of those that you can just reach in there, grab, and enjoy it for any occasion. A friend will enjoy it just as much as you would. It really speaks to both new cigar smokers and people that have been smoking cigars for years. And I set you up because I wanted you to talk about that one because I was really excited that I almost included it as well.
Yeah, something that's interesting. I'm looking at your list right now. I'm looking at my list. Calling this, we thought about, do we call this top 5? But that's just a whole nother discussion. I think we picked all things that are going to be or are regularly accessible. Mm-hmm. And these are 5 cigars that no matter what time of the month or year, is it a top, is it the end of the year, and we're picking our top. These are just 5 cigars from each of us you should be smoking. They should be in your rotation.
Yep.
Frankly, these 5 for me that I'm looking at on this list are 5 cigars that I could, if somebody said you get 5 to smoke for the rest of your life, I would feel comfortable with my list. Being like, between these 5, I'm good. Like, it hits all the things that I love. So, HVC 500th, big fan. It's a classy cigar. Like, it's so clean and nuanced and beautiful. If you haven't gotten it, go get it.
Yeah, I think it speaks to generations as well, right? Like older cigar generations would pick that up and go, yep, this is a great cigar. Reminds
Yes,
you of
they
cigars
would.
that I used to smoke.
Yes, they would.
And then you're kind of new. I don't want to call it third wave cigar smokers because I think that's ripping too much from coffee. But your new generation of cigar smokers that are liking boutique brands,
Right.
smaller brands, pick that up and enjoy it for all its nuances as well.
Absolutely. All right, take us into the second one on your... These are in no particular order, by the way, although mine
They're
is.
not.
The
They're
Elenor
not.
Rose is number one for me. But other than that, we're in no particular order.
So one that we've talked about frequently on the podcast and people have started seeing their boxes, Xhaxhi Bobi, Babian. This not only, and I want to beat the horse to death because I've talked about it so much, but I think the first cigar that I brought to you of like, Dave, we need to get these in boxes. People are going to absolutely love it. Was this cigar. So not
It
only
definitely
that
was.
influence, being able to bring that in and see that in people's boxes and seeing the really love that everyone had for it, that I had bringing into it. But it's still just one of my favorite cigars. I smoked it a lot during the summer, and I imagine I'm going to smoking a lot during the colder winter months. But I think it's probably one of the best bang for your buck cigars on the market, and perfect short smoke. You know, I've got 30 minutes to get outside. Either it's too hot, too cold, or I've got a place to be. Perfect cigar to pull out of the humidor and light up.
Yeah, you've become such a big fan of KBF, and Xhaxhi Bobi is an amazing expression of KBF.
Absolutely.
And we talked about its price point. We've talked about the quality, the profile, the size. It hits all the marks. It's such a great daily driver, and I was really glad you put it on your list. Because this is a perfect list for that kind of cigar. Like here's a cigar you should be smoking and should always be in your humidor.
Yep,
Xhaxhi Bobi, baby.
Don't let the size.
And don't try and spell it. My God.
Yeah,
Can you spell it?
I didn't know how to say it for a long time.
Xhaxhi Bobi.
Xhaxhi. Don't let if some people enjoy bigger cigars. Certainly get it. They do have larger vitolas in their profile, but the Babian is like a 4 by 4.5, something like that. Incredible, packed with flavor. Still has 2 or 3 very noticeable transitions. So you're not just getting this one note cigar. It's got body, it's got complexity to it, and for the price point, it's hard to beat that.
Yeah, I'm all in on Xhaxhi Bobi, and that's why we've been shipping so much of them. We're both kind of like, well, when can we not have you in a box? Because
exactly.
We always want you in there. I love that.
And you met him, right, when you were down in the DR?
I met the Xhaxhi Bobi man himself, and it was funny because when I met him, we were at his apartment on like the terrace smoking cigars, and Hanky Jr. was there from KBF, and I look at this guy, and he looks like the guy on the band, which Griff so wisely pointed out on our last FA4 show.
Got that little hair going on.
And that's what he looks like. And I was like, oh, you're the Bobi guy, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm the Bobi guy. And I'm like, cool. And then he's like, here's some cigars. And I'd never had them before. And this might have been, a week after you started or 2 weeks after you started?
I literally think 2 weeks. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no way. I was just talking about your brand with one of the guys on our team. And
next thing you know,
next thing you know, he's all over there.
Yeah. I think KBF is, as we talked about last time, definitely a up-and-coming new favorite factory for me. So pretty much you pulling something out of KBF, I'm probably going to be a fan of it.
Dig it. Good mix so far of DR and Nicaragua on your list. I think I'm all Nicaragua except for one, which is...
Hey, the Dave of 2020 would have 0 outside of Nicaragua, so you have grown.
That's true. That's true. I'm proud of me. So next on my list is one that I have always said is my favorite cigar from Alec Bradley / Alec and Bradley. And I don't think it gets any love, frankly. We're putting it in November, though. This is the Alec Bradley Lineage in Robusto.
I will admit, never smoked that cigar.
You will be.
Is that a pigtail on the cap?
Yeah, beautiful pigtail.
Love it.
There
it goes.
Beautiful pigtail. And just like a straight medium. Maybe medium minus. It's my favorite coffee cigar. It's just... Oh, I'm back.
You're back.
It's sweet. It's oaky. It's got a tiny bit of tingle. It's super bready. I love that in a coffee cigar, like super breadiness. And they're always consistent. Big fan. It comes out of Rice's Cubano, which is another big favorite factory of mine. And it's been around for a long time, and nobody talks about it, and I do not know why. But it should be in your rotation.
Yeah, I don't know how that one's flown under my radar. I feel like I've smoked a lot of... Is it Alec and Bradley? Or no, it's Alec
AB.
Bradley.
It's a class.
Yeah.
The family series, Alec Bradley.
Well, I'll have to get my hands on that one because I love a good morning cigar.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's a great one. Honestly, the HVC could be morning. And like so far, all three of mine could be morning. I wouldn't do Lineage like after a real heavy meal. The other two I still would. But morning, afternoon, grab the Lineage.
Yeah, I love a cigar. You know, I'm a huge fan of third world or third wave coffee, single origin, super acidic, fruity notes.
Yeah.
So anytime there is a cigar that can hold up to a more acidic coffee, Bailey loves a really bitter French press dark roast coffee. Some cigars fall flat to that. Some go well.
Yeah.
And same goes for your single origin, more acidic Ethiopian type coffee. So whenever I can have a cigar that can pair well with those and balance out some of that is always, and I look for those bready notes, those cedar notes, those kind of more earthy type notes that you would expect, cedar or leather, things like that, I think go really well with a single origin.
Which this is kind of a perfect segue to talk about our new blend we're coming out with, Proud Hound. Just got the bags and artwork done finally for that, and now next week we go to do the coffee. Do the whole coffee thing, the blend thing, and we're going to push the boundaries a little more in this one, I think. Last one, played it a little safer, went a little darker, heavier coffee, kind of this will work with almost any cigar. Now I kind of want to, let's go closer to third wave coffee style, and how much closer can we get before it's too bright, too acidic to really lock in with a majority of cigars. So we're going to push the boundaries a little bit. We're going to use some different countries to bring in some more sweetness, fruit. I really want to work with a coffee from Guatemala. I love Guatemala for like caramels, like darker, like raspberry sweet kind of fruits. Maybe something from Colombia. You get that like crisp, big red apple kind of juicy mouthfeel without the super acidity of like a Kenyan or an Ethiopian coffee. So there's a lot that we're playing with, but new coffee is coming.
Now that's going to be really exciting. I think going the route that we did for the first one made a lot of sense. You don't want to immediately turn away people from a single origin, coffee style, third wave style. And that one you could French press, you could drip the first release. I mean, it was so versatile.
Yep.
And I didn't think I had a cigar that couldn't go well with that coffee.
Yeah, and this one too, you still, I think, it'll almost shine on anything. You could pull it on espresso if you wanted to. But that is going to be, that's the next big task around here that I'm excited for.
That's so awesome.
We'll get some samples going, get them down to Pugh. We can maybe talk about them on a podcast once. I think that'd be
fun.
A good time.
But speaking of coffee, you set me up perfectly. I'm going to transition into my number 3 cigar that I've got on my list. And it's going to be the Fratello Oro. This one got here at the Boxer, but any size will do. This is the perfect cigar with a latte. Do like a vanilla or a cinnamon latte. Pick your milk preference, whole milk, 2%, non-dairy milks, oat milk, almond milk. It's going to go great with it. A cigar that I feel like even people that don't really smoke a mild cigar would enjoy. There's creaminess to it. There's cinnamon to it. There's almost
definitely
like a creme
citrus.
brulee. Definitely some citrus in there. So I think Connecticut and mild cigars get a bad rap. We've talked about this before, where we really enjoy these Connecticut's that bring out complexity and bring out flavors and even maybe a little strength to them. And this cigar, probably, still medium on or mild on the strength, but definitely complex and full-bodied on flavor.
Yeah, great cigar. We've been big on Fratello, I think, over the past 6 to 10 months. He puts out a lot of great cigars. He's got a great palate. I was just actually talking with him this morning, on the Fratello Cigar Club exclusive we got coming out, and the name of it's going to be called The Balancing Act. The reason is because he's kind of the balance king. That's his thing. That rhymed. And the Oro is a great representation of that, where maybe there's not a ton of strength, but it's the lower strength is balanced with a lot of flavor. And that's not always the case, like you said.
Yeah, I think it was this cigar. I think it was our first podcast interview with Omar as well. Yeah. I was smoking the Oro. I had it with a latte, and the combination, I think it was just a milk latte. I don't think I've had any like syrup or sugar in there. And it just balanced really well with it, added complexity to the latte, and the latte added complexity to the cigar. So it was a balancing act between the two. Normally when you go for a pairing, you're either pairing it to the cigar or you're pairing the cigar to the drink to bring out more complexity in the drink or more complexity in the cigar, where this Fratello Oro was able to do it for both. Yeah,
I fully agree. It's a great cigar, a good one to have in your rotation at all times. This next one for me, I've been going back and forth on between two from Warped that I've always really enjoyed. But at the end of the day, there's one that, and it kind of fits the theme. It's, to me, has a lot of similarity between the HVC 500th, and that's the fourth one on my list, which is the Warped GR88. Love the size, 5 1/4 by 50. Aganorsa Nicaragua Puro. Spice. Tons of complexity. Red fruits, toffee, caramels, pepper, oak. It's ever changing. It's one that I could smoke this at a tailgate, right, and just like enjoy it. But I could also sit down, retrohale almost every puff, and jot down notes, and they would be probably different every time. And it's that kind of adventure.
If you were smoking that at a tailgate, everyone would love you. Has a great footnote to it. Really pleasant smoke. And it was that cigar that I realized that Kyle Gellis is not older than me. Well, okay. Barely older than me. Let me rephrase that. Born in 88. I was born in 89. And he released that. I was like, oh, God. How is he... I don't know. I guess I always assumed he was older just because he's running Warped cigars. You just assume, or I assume that, they're going to be an older person. But nope, 88 years old. Or born in 88. Jesus.
88 years old, baby.
And I know that was a crowning kind of cigar that he was really proud of and really excited to release. And I'm glad it's a regular production now.
Yeah, it's great price point too, $9. I think it's really fair for the quality of tobacco you're getting. And it's a cigar that you can enjoy, again, a lot of time throughout the day. Maybe it might not be like your breakfast cigar, but...
I've had that cigar
I've smoked
at the lake with a morning cup of coffee, sitting on the dock, just watching the kind of the sun come up. So it even makes a good morning cigar too.
A lot of his stuff, even if they're stronger, like I think of Corto, which is probably one of the strongest in his line. That sucker with coffee in the morning, shut it down. That's a great cigar.
Cigar.
I love that cigar with coffee.
Espresso. Every time I talk about Corto, I say it's the best cigar with espresso. Yeah. It's the perfect size. Yep. It's got the strength and body to hold up to bitter espresso or even, acidic single origin espresso. If you haven't had it yet, that was another one that almost made my top 5. Was the Corto, just because of how much I love that cigar.
Yeah, totally. I would have to agree with you. A big fan of that one. GR88 took it around this time of year, maybe that's part of the reason. I don't know, but big fan of it nonetheless. All right, Pugh, you got one more for us, dude. No, you have 2 more.
I got 2 more.
Hell yeah.
And I'm going to save my favorite for last, so we're going to jump into my next one, which is my favorite yearly release since... 2016, right when I started smoking cigars. I got it unknowingly. I was like, here's a limited release, get it while you can. I was like, well, I can't miss out. And that started, I've had this cigar every year since then. Crown Heads, Las Calaveras. This is the 2021 that just came out. I haven't even smoked it yet. I almost started smoking this today, but kind of wanted to sit down and not have to do 2 things at once so I could really pick out the flavors of the new release. But I look forward to it every year. I love guessing what color the new band's going to be.
Yeah.
They always have a few months of teasers leading up to their usually August release. Always been a fan of each one. You know, I have some that I'm not, that are better than the others. For instance, the 2018, the green label, Mexican San Andreas wrapper, out of this world. Probably my favorite Mexican San Andreas cigar. But going back to the 2016, which I believe was the either the white or black label, also phenomenal. I don't have any more of those. I've smoked all of those, unfortunately. But really looking to change it up. John, right? Yeah. Over at Crown Heads does a really good job of kind of pushing the boundaries and developing kind of a story of his cigars.
Yeah, totally.
Whether it be Las Calaveras or any other release that Crown Heads comes out with.
Yep, couldn't agree more. They're just one of those, I don't know, they're a cool company, just in general. I love from a creative side, from a people persona side, and then the cigars they put out are just badass, always.
Their hat game is on point, too. Yeah.
Check it out. I got it on.
I need a direct line for each release as they come out, please.
I'm like, these guys are equally a hat and cigar company, I think. The passion is there for both.
Have you smoked? I think you smoked the new Las Calaveras, right?
I did. Yep. Smoked it a couple weeks ago when I was in Nashville, and it was very good. It was like my maybe second or third cigar of that evening. So
yeah, hard to gauge at that point.
But I have a sampler of them, and I'm really excited to smoke the sampler exclusive, the kind of Lancero looking one.
Yeah,
really looking forward to that, because any cigar that has that type of body, put it in a Lancero is such a true test of like blending and the factory that you're working with. And so I'm excited to see how that translates to such a small ring gauge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I picked up got the Corona Gorda here. Normally I pick up that sampler where it's got all four and then the unique one just for it, but I didn't bite the bullet this year.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you got the sampler.
No, I just got a 5-pack of the Corona Gordas just because I knew
that's your size.
Yeah, it was tough though, because normally I buy a 5-pack and the sampler. I was like, oh, let's save a little bit of money this year, but I digress. Yeah,
next time, P, you got to go. You got to go sampler. Also, to keep it in the kind of Crown Heads family for my 5th cigar in my 5 cigars you should be smoking list, I have the Pichardo Reserva Familiar Habano, the red label, in Corona Gorda, specifically in Corona Gorda. This cigar is out of this world. It is the most full-bodied cigar on my list, I would say. And it is jam-packed with flavor. In-your-face flavor, not like nuanced searching for it flavor. Like, it's all there. It's not overly strong, but there is strength in it. And Ace Prime Pichardo, who obviously has partnered with Crown Heads on their Mil Diaz release, on their new CHC Court release, Juarez. I'm sure they're going to have plenty of other releases coming out of there. This factory's kind of been on fire this year. They've come into the spotlight. Everybody's been talking about Aganorsa in Nicaragua. And now you're starting to hear the whispers of Ace Prime, Pichardo, Crown Heads a lot more. And it's deservedly so. They are tobacco people through and through, which really shows in their final product.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were down in Mobile a few weeks ago, and I think we grabbed like 10 of these cigars to smoke one night. I mean, we were just
this is finishing
one, lighting up another one.
Yep.
Incredible. And I do agree that Corona Gorda size, it feels right in the hand. I know we constantly talk about our love for Corona Gordos. It's just that perfect ring gauge between size, complexity, a good balance between binder filler and wrapper.
Yep.
Perfect for every occasion. And that cigar, I think I have like 5 or 6 left, and I doubt they'll make it through the rest of the year because it's just such an easy cigar to pick up and start smoking. We have a theme between everything. A lot of these cigars are every occasion cigars, and I think that speaks volume to why they are, a must have, because you don't have to have that special occasion to smoke it.
No, and these legitimately are cigars that these are the cigars I smoke all the time. Literally, I grab these cigars all the time, And especially in in our world where we can really smoke a lot of different things all the time, I come back to these. Like if I'm not we're not smoking something for an exclusive or for customs, and it's like, let me just grab something that I know I'm going to enjoy. It's one of these, period. And it's a lot of the ones on your list as well. The Xhaxhi Bobi, Las Calaveras. I'm not going to say the next one. I'm going to let you lead into that for your final one, because this is you have big claims on this one.
I do. Saving the best for last is coming out of Principal.
Yes.
The Principal Classico, specifically in the Lancero.
Yep.
This cigar, to me, great on its own. But when you pair this with Weller 107, it is out of this world and truly speaks to how good a cigar can be when paired with the perfect pairing. And I think this is the absolute perfect pairing. This cigar on its own, marshmallow, it's got creaminess, it's got some caramel to it, it's got tons of transitions, but the reason why it's the perfect pairing with the Weller 107 is when you pair it with it, that marshmallow turns into s'more, a s'more. It just literally tastes and takes you to sitting by a campfire. Yeah, sitting by a campfire, you've got the marshmallows over the flame, maybe a little too burnt. I know I like them extra charred. And then you slap it on top of Hershey chocolate with some graham cracker on the outside. You take that bite into it, burn yourself with marshmallow. I mean, it completely transports you to sitting by a campfire in the fall or in the winter. On its own, great cigar, but the Weller 107 truly pulls out that marshmallow, adds a little toast flavor to it. I imagine any weeder would probably
AWS
go
would
well
probably
with it.
Slam with it too.
AWS would probably be really good. It's too good with Weller, so I haven't ventured outside of Weller as far as trying another weeded bourbon with it.
Yeah.
But I did try a non-weeded bourbon at the same time, and you get none of that toasted marshmallow, none of the s'more campfire feeling to it. I mean, it's a completely different cigar when not paired with a weeded or 107.
I haven't done that combo yet, and it's one of the number one things I'm looking forward to, but I refuse to do it until the weather is nice enough to sit outside around a fire, and we're here now. That weather is here, so it's on my list. I've got my bottle of Weller up here. I've got one of the Accomplice Lancero white labels here. The combo's going to happen, and we'll report back on Pugh's claims. The palate print speaks. I will try. I will listen. I will respond.
And if you can, definitely try it alongside. I think I drank, it was like E.H. Taylor single barrel alongside the Weller with it. So 2 Buffalo Trace products. And I mean, it didn't even come remotely close to where the Weller brought that cigar.
Well, you people heard it. I think from your list, that's the one I'm most excited to smoke next. Especially when we talk about that pairing, because a lot of things go great with 107, but we're talking about a total complementary pairing that enhances both flavor experiences to create a cohesive one, which is kind of the dream, right?
I've never hit a pairing better than this. It's just as far as where it took the cigar, and then comparing something next to it that was completely different, and just seeing how much it actually took that cigar forward. Best pairing that I've done by far.
And one other thing, Pugh, if I could just chime in here. I just want to say to you, if you've been shaving with the same nut trimmer on your face, you've been doing it wrong. No person wants to end up with pubes in their mouth. Go to manscaped.com and use code CigarClub for free shipping and 20% off. Quit shaving upstairs and downstairs with the same thing. You're disgusting.
Oh God! Wasn't ready for that one, D. Was not ready for that one. I've got no witty comebacks. I've got nothing. Lawnmower 4.0 upgrade.
Lawnmower 4.
Don't be me.
Even if you have a Lawnmower 4.0, you don't have a new one, so you should upgrade it anyway. But if you're sitting there with the 2.0 and you're like, I'm good. I already bought this thing. It's like, can you do it in the dark?
I've had I've used Manscaped for 3 years now. when the 2.0 first came out, I jumped on board, and feels good to upgrade. I think the 4.0, the actual blades are even better than the 2.0.
Oh,
I don't know.
Upgraded blades for sure. Look at the heart.
They're replaceable as well. Immediately could tell drastically difference, and I was like, why have I been waiting so long to upgrade to the 4.0?
Upgrade to the 4.0. Buy a Lancero Accomplice white label. Find your bottle of Weller 107. Wipe the dust off. Shave. Go outside. Smoke and drink. That's what the Cigar Club podcast is encouraging you to do, and is what we're all about. Any final thoughts for the people, Pugh?
Football's coming back. I'm excited. College football's here. NFL's starting here. And I know what I'm going to be doing Saturdays and Sundays, especially as the weather dips. It's going to be taking the TV outside early in the morning, starting with a cup of coffee, first games of the week or the day, and just catching up on cigars. It's been miserably hot, starting to finally have low 80s, mid 80s, where it doesn't feel like 110 degrees outside and being miserable smoking a cigar. So I'm more than welcoming fall. It's just something, it's my favorite time of the year. If I could find perfect fall weather 24/7, I'd move in a heartbeat.
Man. Well, I can tell you there's great fall weather here in Cincy. Anyway, I digress. This has been a great episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed hearing this. Maybe by next episode we can put together, if there's any of these cigars we have at the warehouse, even if it's a mix of our top fives or our go-to fives, we can find some type of sampler we can make so that you guys, if you haven't been able to find these cigars, you'll have a shot to buy them, even if we can only get a handful of them up on the site. But if you can't get them with us, go to your local brick and mortar shop, find the cigars, ask if they don't carry HVC, ask them to carry HVC. If they don't carry Warped, ask them to. Serino, all of these brands that should be in every shop around the country because their cigars are just that good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think every cigar we listed is all, with the exception of the specific 2021 Las Calaveras, are all regular releases that you can find all year round. No, and Elenor Rose coming up soon too as well.
Yep, it will be in the next couple of weeks. Man, well, we're back. It's the fall season of the Cigar Club podcast. Took a week off, but we're coming in hot. We're coming in strong
Bringing
again.
It back.
And that's what we got. All right. It's been another great episode. If you guys have been hanging out with us, and Ramsey just popped on here and threw me for a freaking loop. All right, podcast people. We'll see you same time, same place next week. Like it on YouTube, comment on YouTube, download it on Spotify, Apple Music, and Google Podcasts, and go get your Manscaped with code Cigar Club. We'll see you next Tuesday at 9 a.m. Enjoy your day. Happy smoking.